YouTube. Wow, my transmission is slipping like crap. And I'm not even bothering to try to go see Rob today because there's no way he's still there this time on a Friday. By the way, it is 4:46 p.m., still Friday, July 28th, 2023. That guy's not going to let me in. To be fair, I was basically just the asshole trying to pass him on the right, so. Oh my God, it is hot in my car. Oh, I don't have the iPhone handy to check the weather widget to see what the temperature is, but I can tell you it is, it's hot right now. I do believe from this lane, hey, check out that guy sitting at the green light. That guy in that BMW straight up stopped on the green light. I'm sure my camera got that. Man, my steering wheel is so hot. I was running late today when I got to Hertz and so frantically trying to get to the time clock as close to on time as possible that I didn't put in my sunshade, and I'm paying for it now. And the shitty thing is, I had that trip to Flagstaff, and that was awesome. God, the more I could do that, the better. That was just awesome. Such a good time, like from beginning to end. But of course, when I got back, now a bunch of guys that got back from that trip were just like screw it, I'm going home now. And I think some of them, to be fair, probably work the shift that's a little bit earlier than mine, where they come in an hour earlier than I do and leave like an hour earlier than I do, or an hour and a half earlier than I do. I don't know. I haven't fully figured out what everybody's schedule is. But I get a feeling some of them were supposed to be there till like 4 or 4:30, and just once they got back, they're just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm good. I'm done. I'm trying to make as much money as possible. So I went ahead and stuck around until 4:30. I did have one Esther moment, but I just I shrugged that off so quick that she didn't really have it. In fact, I think she was still talking to me as I drove off, which is like I asked a question, she answered my question. Once I got the answer I needed, I didn't stick around to hear whatever else she was rambling about. I got work to do. I'm wondering if she maybe sees me as a threat to her job, because I'm not looking to move up the ranks with this company. And one thing I'm definitely seeing came really clear today is there's a whole lot of people being where they are because they had a hookup or knew somebody. So I mentioned that two gorgeous black women, very much my type, you know, just the thick and curvy side, but still tight little waists and just gorgeous. And I mentioned they look kind of similar. Well, come to figure out they're half sisters. And the manager, Rob, they're half brother. They all have the same mom, different dads. I would have never guessed that. But I mean, yeah, the two gals look very similar. But I was just kind of like, oh, that explains a lot. I still haven't figured out if the one is being flirty with me or just being sweet. Because there's a fine line between that, and I half the time can't tell. And I've found out entirely way too many times that, oh yeah, she was all into you, she was flirting with you, and you weren't. She thought you were ignoring you. So yeah, she's telling everybody she thinks you're gay. Yeah, that story's played out in my life more times than I want to think about. Like one time that really sticks in my mind, and like by the time I got it through my head that this coffee barista at Muddy's was really into me, she wasn't really into me anymore. And fortunately, like I was getting close to enough women when I was in Denver that, I mean, shit, I can't remember if I was 19 or 20 at the time, but I didn't even realize how good I looked at that age. I just really didn't. I just didn't have a clue, because I had just been so picked on in high school. And I looked so different at, say, 20 than I did at 15, because I was a late bloomer. When I was 15, I looked like I was 11, you know, so of course I got picked on. As opposed to when I was 20, I looked like I could have been a fashion model, but I didn't realize that until I was like 22 24 when I got picked up by a talent scout for the elite modeling agency. It's amazing how it is looking back on life with 2020 hindsight. But yeah, I don't remember that waitress's name, but that seemed to be all the guys in my social circle. She seemed to be their big crush, and apparently everybody knew that she was all into me except me. By the time I figured it out, it was like she was over it. And would that have worked out? I don't know. I'm gonna kind of go with no, because I figure if we're missing signals that bad at the beginning, it's probably not destined to be much of a relationship. It's kind of how I like to look at it. But I still wish there would have been some adult playtime with her, because oh my God, I can't remember her name, but I sure remember her walk. And the curves of her body and her flowing. She always wore these like flowing dresses that kind of left me thinking there wasn't much underneath it. And she was probably like 18. Yeah, God, of all the different phases of my life, Muddy's was certainly one of the best. Oh, how the hell did I get on that tangent? Oh, yeah. The one gal in the office. I can't keep their name straight to save my life. But, anyway, so they're all half-siblings. Surprise, surprise. And you know, when you get 3 half-siblings working in the same office, that's not a coincidence. I'm not complaining about it. I'm fitting in really well there. I mean, Ethel doesn't seem to like me a whole lot, but I've got the respect of most of my peers because I don't let her walk all over me. I just I stand up to her, but with a smile, and I don't do it in a way that's demeaning or insulting. If she says something, I'm not, oh yes, Ethel. I ask her questions when I feel I've ascertained the information that I need. I go about my way. And most of the time I'm behind the wheel of a car, so I could be gone even if she's still talking, like conceivably out of earshot. So I did call Al before heading over, and he's waiting for me at his shop. So I told him I'm having problems with the screen. I didn't go into any detail, but at this point the iPhone screen is barely usable. The black spot has gotten pretty sizable, and I'm still working on the same video segment in iMovie that I've been working on for days, and now it's an issue of, and it's been a contributing factor for the last couple of days, but like now it's to the point where if the screen was working right, I could have finished that on the ride up to Flagstaff, and then easily probably, it's hard to say, but had I finished that when I got to the Flagstaff airport, I probably would have walked over to the edge of the terminal to see if I could get me some free Wi-Fi and got that posted. But I'm just having so much frustration, and it was like an occasional thing, but now it's constant, like the ghost touches. It's especially annoying when I've got the screen in the normal vertical position, and in the version of iMovie that I use, there's a little button with an I in it, which stands, I guess, for information, but it's basically the help button, or what would be like the equivalent of F1 if I was using a real computer. And it makes a whole bunch of help tips pop up over the entire screen, which are really they're great when you're trying to learn how to work the software, but once you've got it down, and I'm not going to say I've mastered the older version of iMovie for the iPhone 6s Plus, but I'm pretty effective and efficient at doing what I do. Now, I know there's some other features. I've dinked around with some of them, and most of them are stuff I'm just not interested in. I'm not about applying any kind of special filters or anything. I'm just trying to get my video to look as natural as possible. I'm trying to edit out any redundant words that I say, or any just pauses where I'm saying, and then, I'm trying to edit that stuff out, just so the video flows a little better. I mean, if you're watching it, I'm using just the simple fade, so you just basically see things the same normal point of view when I'm driving of the road ahead of me, but you'll see things kind of smoothly transition a little closer as I'm going, which is fine, because mostly I'm driving the same roads I drive all the time. Anybody who regularly watches my vlog, like they've seen these streets. There's no new scenery to be seen. If there is new scenery, I'm commenting on it and probably not cutting any of that out. But yeah, I'm just like making the trip a little bit shorter and making my monologues easier to understand. And yes, it's more time consuming, but I like what it's doing with my videos. It makes them a lot easier to watch. And for those who just listen that don't watch the screen as intently, it makes it a lot more listenable. So I feel that matters. Actually, I had somebody comment that vlogs are kind of a passé thing. I should do a podcast, and I didn't really comment back about it, but I just sort of thought to myself, well, what's the fucking difference? Especially with me editing my audio the way I'm doing it now. Like, if I was to strip the audio and combine enough videos to where I got an hour's worth or a whole day all put together, I mean, bam, there's a podcast. Especially if I edited out the parts where I'm commenting on things that I see. Unless my narration is good enough that if you're not listening to it, you can kind of gather what's being shown just by listening to it, a la radio programs. Speaking of radio programs, I dig the fact that these. Oh shit! My air conditioning just suddenly got not very cool, and my temperature gauge is climbing. Oh no! Not again! It's not climbing as high as it normally does, but yeah, my air conditioning, which has been pretty cold since Rob worked on it last, just suddenly got... It's still definitely cooling, but it's not... It's acting like it was when the radiator fan was not really working. And now suddenly it's ice cold again. I don't know, maybe it's on a relay. I really wish I understood what was going on with that a little bit more and could work on it myself, but I just don't even have any desire to fuck with that. I mean, I have desire, don't get me wrong, I just don't have time to fuck with it and the energy to put towards it, nor a comfortable place to do it. I don't have, my covered parking is occupied by my Benz right now. I don't have any time to mess with the Benz. So I'm just about to L's cell phone shop. I sure hope he's really there. I hope he's not playing with my emotions on this, because it kind of... I was going to say it kind of sucked coming out here yesterday and not being able to see him or have him look at my phone. But those tacos are so good that still didn't really feel like a wasted trip. Or to the left. So I'm not... It doesn't look like the barber shop is open, but I was concerned about taking up the customer parking. But anyway, this looks like a good place to be where nobody will mess up my car. Well, thanks for coming on this bit of the drive, and hopefully he can square away my iPhone 6s Plus. And I'm about to the point where in 1 week I should be square money-wise. So I think what I'm going to do is have them put a new screen on the 7. It's my understanding that it's just simply not cost effective to replace the fingerprint sensor for the home button. But at this point, I think it would be useful to have the 7 Plus, because it's a 128 gig phone, to use strictly as a video editor over Wi-Fi. I feel like I'm doing enough of this that it's worthwhile. So yeah, talk to him about that. For the time being, I gotta get my iPhone 6s Plus, which is my main communications device, squared away, because it's borderline useless right now. And welcome back, YouTube. I'm a little disappointed with Al. I'll be honest, I'm a lot disappointed. Yeah, I said he was going to have to charge me for a new screen. I'm thinking that screen should have been covered by warranty, but he's just like, whoa, it was over a month ago. Was it? I don't think it was. It was about a month ago. I mean, I can go back through my vlogs. I definitely remember I vlogged a trip over here. Or I could just search my email, because I'm pretty sure he did a digital receipt to my Gmail. But he's like, why didn't you bring it back the next day? I'm like, dude, I'm a busy guy. So I'm working like 5 jobs, working my ass off, trying to make ends meet. And trying to recover from a month and a half that I didn't have much work. Get myself a... Wait, do I have a lightning cable on me? I do have a lightning cable on me. I got a warning from Obamaphone 3, which is what I'm shooting video on. Generally speaking, if I don't mention I'm shooting video on anything else these days, it's Obamaphone 3. This has become my camcorder. And it serves that purpose well in spite of the fact that it's grown a lot more screen cracks. Wonder if I can get through this gate over here. I don't feel as hot as it is today. I don't feel like... No. Ow. Ooh, that's like fire. Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna walk around. I don't... Too old to be hopping fences these days. Although that would have saved me some walking. But hey, there's more shade going this direction. So... It is, I don't know what the temperature is because he's got my iPhone. Al is an interesting character. He's definitely the Prius guy a whole bunch of rideshare drivers go to. And that's a good thing to know. I'm still really bummed he didn't comp the screen, but I guess he's thinking it's been long enough he wouldn't be able to get credit from his supplier. And I genuinely believe, and this is what he said, he said, well, something pinched it, and kind of insinuated that I did something to pinch it. But I could tell from the day I got the phone back from him, well, not so much the day, but the night. I mean, I commented on my video, the moment I got the phone in my hand in the car, that the screen lock button, also known as the power button, didn't feel right. And he's like, well, I didn't do anything with that. There's nothing I can do with it. I'm like, dude, it worked just fine before I gave it to you. Never had an issue with that button prior to getting it back from him this time around.
Wait.
But I told him to, he's like, well, I just keep using it, because I just keep using it like that, as long as it keeps working. And I'm like, yeah, I do a lot of screenshots. It's very, very difficult to do a screenshot with that button the way it is right now. And there's times where I need to lock the screen in a hurry. That's because I'm doing a lot of stuff that involves me using my phone. You know, be that hopping on the bus in a long time, ending a video recording quickly, trying to open and close quickly the Domino's Pizza app. I mean, what have you. That's a button I use a lot. That shit just needs to work right. The way it's half-assed right now isn't good. And he definitely was the one that messed it up. And as far as he said, you know, well, that dead spot was caused by pressure. I'm like, yeah, from the day I got it back from you, when it's dark at night, I can see extra light flashing through there, like there was some pressure on it, like it was pinched. And obviously the pressure has to do with the power button, because I mean, that's right where the hole is and where the pressure problem is. Anyway, it didn't make me happy to run my card for, I think, like $70, whatever the hell he charged me for another screen. But to be fair, last time he only charged me $100 for a screen and a battery, and the battery's been fabulous. So I'm going to stick by him on this one, but I am contemplating going elsewhere for my 7 Plus screen. Hey, what's happening, YouTube? It is 6:55. I damn near lost track of time. These things make such weird sounds. There's supposed to be standardized sounds to guide blind people across the street, but I've noticed in different places they sound different. Hey, there goes a cruise. I still haven't completed my survey to get into their service. And Waymo is so much better anyway. But yeah, I definitely want to be able to get on and utilize cruise just to have the experience. I dig self-driving cars. The lead on the trip, and I forget her name. Actually, I think it's Heather. She's a character and a half. The lead on the trip to Flagstaff today, we're talking about autonomous cars and just how ridiculous the directions are that come out of the Teslas. Because I had one the other day tell me to turn left off the third floor, just to go through the wall of the third floor of the parking garage in the rental car center. I'm just thinking to myself, oh yeah, Tesla, you got jokes. And turn left onto East Mojave Drive. I'm like, and go over the barrier and off the edge of the third floor? I don't think so. And I'm thinking, man, if it was in self-driving mode, would it have tried to have done that? I mean, I would imagine it would have sensed the wall and stopped, but then what would it have done? Like, how confused would it have gotten? And anyway, we're all on our way up to Flagstaff, and we're talking about that, and I mentioned the Waymos. And I'm like, yeah, the Tesla self-driving and the Waymo self-driving are two completely different animals. And she's like, oh, a car with no driver in the front seat? I hope y'all can see there is no driver in the front seat of the car. It's like a car with no driver in the front seat? I ain't getting in that. That just doesn't seem safe to me. But I straight up trust the Waymo driver way more than I trust most human drivers. You don't hear Waymo drivers smashing into other cars, but human drivers are doing that all the time. Oh man, we got the police rolling up in here. I wonder what's going on. Oh no, he's fucking with my car. Questionables at the back end of the strip mall. Cop just sitting over there. My car looks alright, that's the important thing. And it looks like Alice here, so time to go in and get my dang iPhone. So frustrated to charge me for another screen. It's pretty definitely him not getting it installed correctly.